Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. This is part 5 of Rhetoric or Figures of Speech. If you haven't yet watched the previous videos on rhetoric, then please do watch those videos and then start watching this one. In this video, I shall discuss figures based on indirectness. There are 4 figures of speech under this category: innuendo, irony, periphrasis, and euphemism. Let's start with the first one, innuendo. In innuendo, a thing is insinuated or hinted instead of being plainly stated for the purpose of damaging one's character or reputation. The term innuendo has come from Latin innuendo, which means an oblique hint. Okay, so in innuendo, what is happening? A thing is insinuated or hinted instead of being plainly stated. And secondly, what is the purpose of innuendo? The purpose of the speaker behind using innuendo is to hurt or damage someone's character or reputation. Okay? Let's look at the examples. He has been treated with 4 doctors, but he is still alive. So this is an innuendo on doctors. The use of the very word but insinuates or hints that doctors simply hasten death. Doctors bring death faster, right? So this is what has been said here. So this is a severe innuendo on doctors. Second example, my friend arrived and my book was missing. So the insinuation here is that the friend stole the book. I do not lock my doors at night because I have no servants. Again, here the insinuation is that the servants are generally thieves. Last example, he was born of rich but honest parents. Again, the use of the word but insinuates that the rich people are generally dishonest. Next, we have irony. In irony, the contrary of what is meant is said, and the purpose is to hurt some person or persons. So, irony is a figure of speech by means of which the character or reputation of some person or persons is hurt in an indirect way. Okay? So the essential features of this figure of speech are: number one, the very opposite of what is said is meant. Number two, there is something in the speaker's tone and manner to show his real intent. Okay, so actually the tone here decides the meaning. Number three, the purpose is to hurt some person or persons. So let's look at the example. A very fine friend you were to forsake me in my trouble. So here, fine is said, but its opposite is meant, and the purpose is to hurt the friend. He delighted in the friendly act of insulting me. Here, friendly is said, but the opposite of it is meant, and the purpose is to attack. He came there with his usual punctuality 1 hour after the train had left. So Here you can understand easily that the opposite of punctuality is meant, and the purpose again is to attack. Now you need to understand the difference between irony and sarcasm. In irony, the contrary or opposite of what is meant is said. But in case of sarcasm, the speaker or author says what he means, and his mode of speaking is such as to excite contempt or ridicule. In sarcasm, one expresses one's contempt or condemnation directly, not indirectly. Okay? The sarcasm cannot be taken as a figure based on indirectness, right? So, in case of irony, the hidden condemnation or contempt is indirect, but in case of sarcasm, that is direct. Okay? So, in both the irony and the sarcasm, the purpose of the speaker or author is to attack some person or persons. Take, for example, this sentence: Jesus saved others, but he could not save himself. So, this is sarcasm because the contempt or condemnation is expressed directly. So, this is sarcasm. Next figure of speech is periphrasis or circumlocution. So, in periphrasis, a thing or idea is expressed in a roundabout way. For the sake of beauty, a thing or statement is often expressed in a roundabout way. A fact or idea which can be expressed briefly and directly is stated indirectly in a roundabout way. For example, sleep the sleep that knows not breaking. So here death is meant, right? Death is here expressed in a roundabout way by sleep that knows not breaking. Next example, that orbed maiden with white fire laden. In this sentence, moon is expressed in a roundabout way by the expression that orbed maiden with white fire laden. Next example, it is very sweet to look into the fair and open face of heaven. So sky is expressed in a roundabout way by open face of heaven. The last one, sometime too hot the eye of heavens shines. Here, sun is meant or expressed through the phrase the eye of heaven. Next figure of speech is euphemism. So, euphemism softens down a harsh or disagreeable statement and expresses it in a pleasing way. So, in this figure, the speaker is roundabout in his expression, but in this case, the purpose is not to hurt anyone, but to express unpleasant ideas or matters in a pleasant or agreeable manner. And the purpose of the speaker is to spare one's feelings. Uh, Take, for example, the man perished on the scaffold, right? So, what is the actual meaning of this line? That the man was hanged, okay? But instead of saying this, the speaker, in order to save the feeling of the person spoken to, says that the man perished on the scaffold indirectly, right? Indirectly, he is expressing the truth in a pleasing way. Next example, the bank has stopped payment. So here, what is the harsh truth? The harsh truth is that the bankers have become bankrupt, but it is expressed indirectly and in an agreeable manner by the expression has stopped payment. The purpose of the speaker is to spare the feeling of his listener. Next example, they dropped down one by one. So here the speaker or the poet wants to say they died. This is a harsh fact. He softens it down and makes it agreeable by the indirect statement dropped down. And the purpose here is to spare the listener or reader from a hard or harsh fact. The last example, the knave came somewhat saucily into the world. The hard fact that the knave was born illegitimately is softened down by the indirect expression came somewhat saucily into the world. Okay, so you need to understand the difference between innuendo, irony, and euphemism very clearly. Okay, in innuendo, something is hinted or insinuated, right? In irony, just the opposite of what is meant is said. Okay, and in euphemism, a harsh truth is softened down and is expressed in a pleasing way, right? Okay, so I hope you have understood these four figures of speech quite clearly. And if you have found these videos helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next videos in this series. Keep watching, keep learning. Thank you all.